Yo, what's up design lifers? Welcome back to the channel. It's Jimmy. I'm an industrial designer. I went to school for industrial design and I graduated and now I work professionally as an industrial designer. If you are an industrial designer or if you're planning to be one, this is probably going to be your plan as well. Some of you guys are probably wondering how much it costs in order to go to an industrial design school. I'm going to share with you guys some of my specific numbers. Obviously, it's going to be different for everybody, but I'm just going to share with you what I have. I promote here being a successful industrial designer, meaning not just becoming the best industrial designer in the world, which is obviously what we strive to do, but also having other things in your life that are important also be on check. So one of them is actually being financially aware and understanding your personal finances. And so I want industrial design to be a successful path for you. Some of the things that I want you guys to know first before we actually jump into the numbers. This is only going to be talking about the Southern California area. I went to school at Cal State Long Beach, which is obviously in Long Beach. Some of you guys live outside of state or even outside of country. I can't really talk too much about that because I just don't have the experience. Industrial design school itself, when I was going, it was a total of 5 years. Now I know it's shorter. It's 4 years, depending on which school you go to. But at Cal State Long Beach at the time, it was 5 years for me. I attended in-state school. So which means that if you were to go to a school that was outside of your state, then that means you're going to have to pay a little bit more of a premium, especially too if you are out of country, you're going to need to pay an international tuition, and which is way more than if you were to have decided to go to a school within your state. I did receive financial aid, which I am going to go over with you guys in my number and how much I received each and every year. I did receive scholarships, which is also what I'm going to go over with you guys. I had a lot of loans offered to me, and so the money that I'm going to talk to you guys about and all the numbers I'm going to show you guys, this is only money that was given to me that I didn't have to pay back. They did also offer more money in the form of a loan, which I did not take because I just didn't need it. I didn't want to be in debt. I did move away from my parents' house, and so that means I had to find somewhere to live and pay rent. If you're able to live in your parents' house, then, better on you. You don't have to pay that portion. I'm not going to really talk to you guys about certain things such as tax benefits, books and school supplies, tools and projects. Okay, I'm not going to talk about food and groceries. That's really up to you, your own eating styles and habits, random fees and permits. And also if you are renting, you're going to have to pay stuff like utilities and renter's insurance and deposits and things like that. So I'm not going to talk about that stuff, but obviously that's another charge on top of everything that I'm going to talk to you guys about. But if you guys really want me to talk about that, we can go over in the following video. Things to consider, like I said, I am going to talk about how much tuition that I paid for each and every year. I am going to talk about how much aid I received each and every year in the form of the FAFSA and also in the form of scholarships. And then I'm also going to talk to you guys about the rent that I paid. So the three biggest money categories here. With tuition and with the student aid and with rent, these are going to be the biggest categories of money that you're going to spend. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it, guys. I know you guys have been patient, so thank you so much. Right here. Okay, let's start into it. Year one, my tuition was $6,240. My financial aid, I was given $6,945. So this is more money than what I needed to pay for my tuition. The money that was left over went to go pay for those other things. But that's not all. I also got a scholarship that year and it gave me $4,000. Shout out to Santa Barbara Scholarship Foundation. That is a total aid of $10,945. That number subtracted by my tuition would give me a take-home pay of $4,705. So this is the money that was left over. That was kind of like, okay, I paid my tuition. Now this is extra money that I have to spend on other things. My rent, I always try to keep it at a certain amount. And that certain amount was $650 a month. It was a little studio. And so that included all the utilities and all of internet and things like that. So I only had to pay one bill, which was $650 School is only 9 months out of the year, fall and spring semesters, which means that I knew I didn't want it to just stick around during the summer and not make any money. So I did move out of the place that I stayed at. I went back home, which I didn't have to pay any rent in those 3 months of summer. And I also went back to my old job in order to make more money. And so within those 3 months, I calculated I was able to save $3,000. So I did that almost every year that I could. Go back home, not needing to pay that rent, and also making the $3,000 within that summer in order to pay for the next year. So with $650, my rent was a total of $5,850 a year for those 9 months. Jumping into year 2. The tuition pretty much almost stays the same throughout all 5 years. So the tuition was $6,372 for year 2. Aid that I received was $8,267. I also received a scholarship that year for year 2. Again, Santa Barbara Scholarship Foundation, you're the best. I received $2,800, giving me a total of $11,067. That is quite a big chunk of money, a little bit more than year 1. And so if you subtract that $11,067 to the tuition I had to pay, that gave me a take-home pay of $4,695. I try to also keep my rent around $650 a month. For 9 months, gave me the same total as year 1 of $5,850 of just pure rent. That time around, it wasn't a studio, it was actually a bedroom that I rented inside somebody's house. For year 3, the grand total of my tuition was $6,452. The financial aid that I received for that year was a grand total of $11,502. Scholarship that I also received that year was a total of $2,500, giving me a total aid of that year of $14,002. So I'm receiving a lot of aid and I'm receiving a lot of scholarships, which also help me out. If you do things the smart way and you're not blowing all this money, you're actually, making sure it goes into the proper places, you can really find yourself almost no debt if you do it correctly. And with that $14,002, if you subtract the tuition I had to pay for that year, it gave me a take-home pay of $7,550. And all of that, of course, went to paying for rent. Paid $650, which gave me the same total of $5,850. And I remember during my 3rd year, I ended up wanting to stay there. I made a deal with my landlord and I said, can I pay you only half rent for the summer? For the 3 months that I will not be there, I would just keep my stuff there. I won't be actually living there. So within those 3 months, I did lock down that location, because if I moved out, somebody else would have moved in and I would have lost the place pretty much. And so with that summer, I spent $975 just to keep that apartment, which I moved back after for the next year. Those two together is a total of $6,825 just for rent. Moving on to year 4, and the tuition that I had to pay was $6,452. The total aid that I received for that year was $8,061. So this is a significant drop from my 3rd year, and this is actually going to be the very last year where I don't have to pay anything. Scholarship wise, was able to land a very special scholarship that year, which I worked really, really hard for, and I made videos on it in the past, so definitely go check that out if you want to hear the full story. But essentially, the scholarship gave me a total of $6,000. So with that added with student student aid, gave me a grand total of $14,061. With the take-home pay, that subtracted by the amount of tuition I had to pay, gave me a total of $7,609 of just take-home pay. Actually, in that year though, in my 4th year, I ended up getting my own place and I'm renting my own apartment now. During that time, I paid half of the rent. I was personally paying a total of $668. The whole time I was there, I paid a total of $8,016 just in rent. So let's move on to year 5 now. And this is going to be the first year where I actually had to pay for my tuition, because this is the year that financial aid and my scholarships did not pay for everything. This was the very last year. There's no more year 5 from what I've heard, but when I was going to school, the tuition was $6,460. The total financial aid that I received during that year was $3,025. I did not receive any scholarships that year. I think I was just working, looking for internships and things like that. So you're not really focusing too much on getting scholarships, and you're kind of just, working and slowly transitioning to being a professional. Since I only received $3,025, the difference was $3,435, which is what I had to pay for my very last year at Cal State Long Beach. For my rent in the very last year, it did bump up to $700 a month. So total with that year, I spent about $8,400 just in rent. All right, guys, that is my numbers right there. I hope you guys appreciated it. If you did, definitely leave a like down below. It really would help me out. If we go over just everything, just a summary of everything, the total tuition fees that I had to pay was $31,976. That might seem like a lot of money, but it really isn't, just because I did go into a state school. I paid very, very little tuition compared to if I were to have gone to an out-of-state school, or even going to a university, which is usually double the tuition of how much I had to pay. So instead of $6,000 something, I would have paid like $14,000 per year. $31,976 is not too bad when it comes to my full 5-year tuition. That private school that I told you guys earlier, that school, I was literally gonna spend that much money in just 1 year. The total aid that I received, if you count up all of the aid that I received from each year, including scholarships and student government aid, and that was a total of $53,100, which is significantly more than how much I had to pay with tuition. The money that I saved was a difference of $21,124. That was my take-home pay. The take-home pay obviously went to rent, which was a total of $34,941 of pure rent that I had to pay. I remember when I was looking back after graduating the 5 years, I thought to myself, I did have a good chunk of money just entering into school. If I put that money on a down payment on a house and then had some of my classmates rent a couple of those rooms out, it would have paid for the thing after 5 years. Probably not everything, but it would have paid for a good chunk of it. I would have had a lot of it paid for by my roommates, which is who I was going to live together with anyway. So I had that idea afterwards, and sometimes I wish that somebody told me if I were to have gone back, would I have done it? Probably wouldn't have been ready, but if somebody was really, really financially savvy and just was able to know how to do that, then that would have been a good move on their part. Going to school is a great opportunity to just live with your friends, and if you can buy that house and have your friends rent some of the rooms out, because they're gonna have to pay for somewhere anyways, and they would probably rather live with you, and so they can just pay your mortgage, and eventually you would receive that house over time with other people living. Anyways, I wish somebody would have told me that before. Also, another piece of advice is you can go to school in your state, then you're just going to save a significant amount of money. I did tell you guys that it took me 9 total years. It technically only is 5 years. If I just jumped right into that 5-year degree right away after high school, I probably would have graduated way sooner at the age of 23. I think I would have found myself in some debt. But since I did take that 4 extra years living at home, saving up money, that allowed me to graduate later in life, but obviously also graduate without any debt. And actually, I did have a lot of money left over, which I ended up just started investing after that and just building up my net worth. If you can live at home, then I highly recommend it because I paid about $35,000 of just rent those 5 years of going to school. So if you can live at home and also go to a university at the same time, you can save yourself quite a lot of money. There are pros and cons to living at home. I really enjoyed not living at home. I felt like I really grew as a person and just being able to take care of all the bills. I really did gain a lot of experience, but you know, you could also gain that experience later on at any time. And so if you can save up that $35,000, I highly would recommend it. Okay. And also getting scholarships. I did try throughout my first 4 years, really trying to get scholarships, joining competitions and landing scholarships, and pretty much just doing anything that I can in order to make money on the side, working for the summer and also leaving my apartment so that I didn't have to pay that rent of 3 months. All right, guys, that is about it for this video. I try to be as thorough as I possibly could. I do hope that you guys took a lot of value out of that, and just seeing all my numbers, now you guys kind of know what to expect if you were to go in the Southern California region. Definitely hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment down below if there's other things you'd like me to talk about. If you want me to make more videos like this, let me know down in the comments. Also hit that subscribe button so that you do not miss any of my future videos. Please share these videos with anybody that you think can benefit from them. It can be a friend, a coworker, or another student. All right, guys, my name is Jimmy, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.